Welcome to another VeVe Digital Collectibles Comic Breakdown. I'm Corey with VeVe, and today's historic comic that we get to talk about from Marvel is Iron Man #1. This comic, the first solo titled Iron Man comic to ever be published by Marvel, marked a significant point for Marvel Comics and for Iron Man. And seeing how we're doing a breakdown video for this one, we will dive a little bit deeper into that history, but first let's go over the drop details. Iron Man #1 is scheduled for release on Tuesday, September 26th at 8 a.m. Pacific time, meaning 7.5K editions across the 5 rarities. This comic will have a retail price of 6.99 gems. Published on May 1st of 1968 with writing by the brilliant Archie Goodwin and art by Gene Colan, this comic gave Iron Man something he'd never had before, an ongoing solo series. And this was a big move by Marvel Comics, one of many that was happening all in a short period of time. The final issue of Tales of Suspense issue 99 had just released in March. And so after that Tales of Suspense 99, Captain America 100 would be the first ever solo title for Captain America. Just the next month in April, Iron Man and Submariner #1 would hit the comic stands. This was another Marvel first, a double feature one-shot story. That comic set the stage for both of those heroes to launch their first ever solo series. And so within the span of just 3 months, these 3 heroes, Iron Man, Submariner, and Captain America, all would be getting their first ever ongoing solo series. And while this comic was a new beginning for old Shellhead, it still remembered and paid tribute to the roots of Iron Man in a really big way. The body and story of this comic would be a continuation from the previous story from Iron Man and Submariner #1, but also included was an origin of Iron Man short. This short highlighted the first appearance of Iron Man comic, Tales of Suspense #39. It did this by retelling that classic story with new dialogue and panels by Archie Goodwin and Gene Colan. If you've been collecting here on VeVe for a while, you might actually already own that Tales of Suspense #39 on VeVe, and if you do, you're in for a treat because the retelling shifts that story slightly and the art, so it's a really fun thing to do a side-by-side read on. Adding to this more than a half a century of history are our VeVe-Exclusive rare and ultra-rare covers. These are coming from Ron Lim and colorist Israel Silva. Let's look at all the covers releasing in the series and the editions to be minted. First, the common classic covers, minting 4,500 editions. If you're a fan of Iron Man, it's hard to not love this cover. We get the classic color scheme and styling for the character, and the big premiere issue ribbon highlights what makes this comic valuable. Iron Man's first ever ongoing solo series. Next, the uncommon vintage variant is minting 1,687 editions. Color selection on Iron Man highlights the unique art of Gene Colan. In the early days of Marvel, Gene was known as one of the few original artists in that bullpen, as he had a unique art and styling that refused to replicate the work of others. Our first VeVe exclusive is the rare hero variant, and it's minting 750 editions. Ron Lim always does amazing sketch variants on VeVe, and this one is another great addition. I always feel like we're getting to peek over the artist's shoulder at a work in progress for this style of variant. Next, the ultra rare vibranium variant is minting 375 editions. Colorist Israel Silva jumps in and hits this entire cover with color. It's an epic contrast seeing the original placard in the top left against the fresh, new rendering Silva and Lim have accomplished. Finally, the secret rare True Believer variant is minting 188 editions. This interior panel selection is a wild one as it pulls and rotates the full page spread that appeared on page 1 of the comic itself. And that's a wrap for this breakdown video. As someone who likes to nerd out about the history of comics, this is one of the most essential pieces for Iron Man, so I'm very excited to add this one to my collection. Best of luck if you decide you're going to go for this one too. Until the next breakdown video, keep learning, sharing, and collecting what you love. This is Corey with VeVe, signing off.